welcome back to the second part of my video to Iceland. So in the second part of the video, I'm going to be showing you what the north was like in a town called Akureyri. I probably completely butchered that up, but I think that's what it's called, which is the north of Iceland, which is around 4.5–5 hours drive, depending on your type of transport, and if you stop, I think it was around 4.5 direct. So I actually enjoyed my time in the north of Iceland significantly more than in Reykjavik, and this was because the weather was actually better, which is quite surprising. Normally when you go to the north it's a bit colder, particularly like in the UK. It's normally around 3, 4, 5 degrees maybe difference. It's normally like more wet and it's just not as nice in general, but the north was actually a lot nicer, and the nature was even more special in the north. The place we stayed at, called Akureyri, I think, has a population of around 18,000 people, and this is one of the biggest kind of, I don't know if you can call it a city or towns in Iceland. It probably is the second one after Reykjavik, which is pretty crazy because most people in Iceland do live in Reykjavik. So if you are going to Iceland, I 100% recommend going to Akureyri if you do go up to the north, because a lot of people just go to Iceland and will go to the Reykjavik and the Blue Lagoon because that's kind of the touristy part, which is very nice too, and definitely experience that part of it. However, I would highly recommend doing 3–4 days maybe in Reykjavik, 2–3, and then the other half, 3 days, 4 days maybe in the north, because it takes kind of a day to travel there anyway, so maybe do like 3–1 for traveling or something like that. Because I really think it is special and it's something you need to experience, with the mountains, the waterfalls, everything around the north. It's crazy to kind of see. You definitely need to experience it. In the summer in the north though, we got told that temperatures could reach up to around 25 degrees, which is extremely warm for somewhere like Iceland. If you've ever been, when we went, which I only went a few weeks ago, it was around, it varied from around 5 to 12 degrees on the day, so kind of less than 10, so that, which is pretty cold still. And in the winter it is below freezing usually, and yeah, I think for May this was actually quite good weather, and we didn't really have much rain at all, which was really nice to be there, and we got some sunshine, particularly in the north where the weather is actually better. And just going up and seeing how secluded the north was just, I really enjoyed that, and it kind of made me realize like maybe this is the way we should be living. You would go miles and miles and you just see like a little house down like a massive road, and there'll be like no houses near, there'll be no town for miles and miles, and they've probably just got they live with their family, they've got their livestock, they've just got like a big house and nature, and maybe they're just happy like that. And it seems like people in Iceland are genuinely quite happy, so it got me kind of thinking like maybe this is the way we actually should be living. We see these kind of superficial big cities like Dubai, and you go to like London where it's all built up and the air quality is just shit, and all kind of big cities in Europe are just, the air quality is shit. And that's another thing that I didn't actually mention to you in the first video, like the air quality in Iceland and the water was so pure, and I actually think it actually did help my skin. And my mum said like a very similar thing. But yeah, like it really did get me thinking, as like maybe this is the way we should be living our lives. I think I could see it as an option. The only thing is maybe it would be a bit lonely, but I think if you've got your family, you've got pets, you're kind of on a farm, I don't really think you would get kind of that lonely at all. But I think there's kind of how we should be living a lot more. And somewhere like Reykjavik, the capital of Iceland, for me that's how cities should be built. You're surrounded by nature, water, there's no like massive built up like kind of apartments, and it's not just all kind of like crammed in like you see London. They're just trying to build and build to get more houses, more money, capitalism constantly. But yeah, that was a bit of a side kind of thing, but it kind of, whenever I do travel, I kind of do get realizations like this, and I thought you might find it a bit interesting, and if you kind of agree with that, I'd be interested to kind of hear your thoughts and opinions. You think that's the way we should be living, because I think we're so out of touch with the natural way we should be living. But anyway, here's the vlog from my trip to Akureyri in the north of Iceland. I really hope you enjoy. So today we have just travelled to a volcanic crater, as you can see. Don't think it's active at all anymore, which is a good sign. We're not going to get half runners any second now. But yeah, very scenic, very beautiful. There's literally like no one here at all. I think their house is down there. Bars at all on the road, just so nice and peaceful. Very windy, as you can see up here, very windswept, but yeah, it's very beautiful to see. It's not really something you see back in the UK, so yeah, very nice up here. Just off to go into the waterfalls again next. And yeah, nice descent back down. It took about 10 minutes to get up here. Yeah, really nice up here. So here we are, we're at God's waterfall today. It's nice that the sun has come out to play with us. A lot nicer today. It's not as warm as it probably looks. It's still a bit chilly. But yeah, it should warm up as the day gets along. But yeah, really nice. Very similar to the other waterfall we went to yesterday. I'll put another clip of kind of the full waterfall after this part of the video. But yeah, really scenery out here, just not too far as well to drive, and yeah, just very scenic here. You can see the snow on the ground. It's very nice, very picturesque kind of location to be at. We're going to the hot springs later on today, and we're going to some lake I think after that, so I'll probably get some clips of that in it too. Yeah, really nice. It looks so much better than in Iceland when the sun's out and it's a bit warmer. Kind of scenery and the nature. It's a shame for it not to be so near it, see it in all its glory, but yeah, really nice. I'm really happy with the sun now. It's very really nice waterfall to visit. So now we have reached the labyrinth, which seems to be just one big type of cave thing. We're at the back of the cave now. You can walk all the way down there. There's about 2 different routes. One's about 7.5 kilometers, which is very quite a far trek down there. We have no idea where we're going. But yeah, it's different. I don't really know if it was meant to be like some volcanoes or something before that, but yeah, it's quite nice. Again, very peaceful. Sun's out, so it makes it nice. So I think we're gonna go get some food now, and then hopefully onto the hot springs, which would be really nice, kind of like the Blue Lagoon again. So it'd be very similar kind of thing there, maybe a bit smaller, but yeah, really cool to see this, I guess. So yeah, see you at the way to describe it. You don't really see stuff like this everywhere. Very unique to see this, but the smell is very pommy. But all even in the hotel, it smells like this. The water is just kind of smells like mixture of most important thing, as you'd expect in a country like Iceland. But so yeah, this is the mud rocks, is it? The mud
baths.
Mud baths. And we're going to go to the hot springs next, which you can probably smell too, but it'll be a lot nicer and we can actually go in there. So yeah, that should be really good. Geothermal baths now. It's very warm. Not far at all from the mud baths. Don't think it's probably quite as good as the Blue Lagoon. It's not quite as warm. And I don't know, I feel like the steam and everything going on the Blue Lagoon is a bit better than this. But the scenery here is probably definitely better, I'd say, overall. You can see
in the mountains.
The location is probably better. Not as busy here too, which I guess is a good thing too. So yeah, it's really nice, but yeah, it's warm, which is a bit of a shame, and definitely more windy here.
There's two separate pools.
Yeah. So yeah, it's not really quiet here. There's not really anyone here at all. About 5 people in this one. But yeah, that's pretty much the end of this day, I think. I don't think we're going to go anywhere else. We'll go back to the hotel and have some food. But then, yeah, that's the end for today. Quite an eventful day. Been to quite a few places, seen a lot of different sites, been really interesting. And yeah, I think tomorrow we're going to hopefully see some whales. Here comes the and here comes the